Hey Leap Inspire family. Picture this. You're chasing your biggest dream, finally landing the job that could change everything, only to wake up married to a stranger who's not just any stranger, but your billionaire boss. Sounds wild, right? Grab your popcorn and hold on tight, because Shayla's story in one night in Vegas is a whirlwind of chaos, courage, and unexpected connections that'll keep you hooked. Stick with us to the end. This journey will inspire you to never give up, no matter how crazy life gets. Let's leap into it. Shayla Hart stood outside the sleek glass tower of Holt Designs, her heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement. At 27, she'd fought hard to get here, and today was her chance to prove herself. Months of job rejections, late-night study sessions, and endless worry about her family had led to this moment. An interview for an executive assistant role at one of London's top architectural firms. It wasn't her dream of designing buildings, but it was a start. Inside, she met Tony Holt, the firm's founder, a silver-haired man with sharp green eyes and a commanding presence. "What's your greatest strength, Miss Hart?" he asked, leaning back in his chair. Shayla took a deep breath, steadying her voice. "I'm headstrong," she said, meeting his gaze. "Some call it stubborn, but it means I don't quit, no matter how tough things get. Once I set my mind to something, I make it happen." Tony's lips curved into a faint smile. "I like that. Everyone else today said confident or ambitious. You're different." He paused, then added, "Can you start Monday?" Shayla's heart leapt, but she kept her composure, offering a polite smile. "Yes, sir. 9 o'clock sharp." They shook hands, and as she left his office, she exhaled a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. This was her shot. Shayla's life hadn't been easy. 11 years ago, her father's death in a car accident shattered her family. At 16, she'd stepped up as the provider, working odd jobs to support her mother, who'd become a recluse, and her older brother, Sam, whose ADHD and anger issues made steady work impossible. Dropping out of university to cover their bills had crushed her dream of becoming an architect, but Shayla never gave up hope. She'd kept studying on her own, sketching designs late into the night, determined to one day earn her degree and build something extraordinary. This job at Holt Designs was her first real step toward that future. As she raced up the stairs to the cozy London flat she shared with her best friends, Joe Sinclair and Amy O'Connor, her phone buzzed with their impatient texts. The door flew open before she could unlock it. "Well?" Joe and Amy demanded in unison, their messy buns and oversized sweatshirts giving them a comically eager look. Shayla grinned, teasing them for a moment before spilling the news. "I got it!" The flat erupted in cheers, and they collapsed onto the sofa in a tangle of laughter and hugs. "We're celebrating tonight," Joe declared, already planning a night out at Lux, a buzzing nightclub in central London. After a playful race to the bathroom, Shayla nudging Amy aside with a hip check, she slipped into a red mini dress that hugged her curves, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders. Joe stunned in a white bodycon dress, and Amy sparkled in silver sequins. Fueled by Prosecco and tequila shots, they hit Lux, the music pulsing through their veins. The club was alive with flashing lights and thumping bass, and Shayla let herself get lost in the rhythm, dancing with Joe. Then, across the crowded room, her eyes locked with a stranger's. His green eyes, sharp and magnetic, held hers with an intensity that sent a shiver down her spine. He was tall, over 6 feet, with light brown hair styled neatly and a jawline that could carve stone. A blonde whispered in his ear, but his gaze never left Shayla. She turned away, heart racing, and downed a green apple shot Amy handed her. The night blurred into laughter and more drinks, until a warm presence pressed against her back. "Dance with me," a deep voice murmured near her ear. She turned to face him. "Cole," he said, his dimples flashing as he smiled. "Demand or request?" she teased, raising an eyebrow. "Whichever gets you to say yes," he replied, his voice smooth as velvet. His arm slid around her waist, and they moved together, bodies syncing effortlessly to the music. The crowd faded, and it was just them, his hands gentle yet confident, her pulse racing with every touch. When Cole suggested grabbing food, Shayla, tipsy and starving, agreed. She waved to Joe, who gave a gleeful thumbs up, and followed Cole to a sleek Rolls-Royce Phantom waiting outside. The cool night air hit her like a wave, making her head spin, but Cole steadied her with a hand on her back. Inside the plush leather interior, he poured champagne, but Shayla had other plans. "Old Street," she told the driver, grinning. "The best food you'll ever have." At the breakfast bar, she ordered a towering stack of pancakes and salted caramel lattes, laughing as Cole groaned in delight, licking his fork clean. "You're not like anyone I've met," he said, his thumb brushing her knuckles, making her blush. His green eyes held hers, and for a moment, she forgot the chaos of her life. The night spiraled from there. More drinks, a private jet, bright Vegas lights, and a hazy memory of an Elvis impersonator pronouncing them married. Shayla's last clear image was Cole carrying her out of a chapel, kissing her like the world was theirs. Morning hit like a freight train. Shayla woke in a strange bed, naked, with a diamond ring glinting on her finger. Her head pounded as she clutched the sheet, staring at the Las Vegas skyline through the window. Cole, shirtless and smirking, stood by the coffee maker. "Good morning," he said, his voice rough with sleep. "We're in Vegas. And yeah, we're married." A damp marriage certificate in his pocket confirmed it. Tristan Cole Holt and Shayla Hart, legally wed. Panic surged as she tried to piece together the night. Cole, equally hungover, had already called his lawyer, Frank, who confirmed the marriage was binding but could be annulled due to intoxication. "We'll fix this," he promised, arranging clothes for her, a fitted black tee and jeans that fit perfectly. Over avocado toast, they agreed to keep it secret and part ways, but Shayla's stomach churned with dread. How had her life unraveled so fast? Back in London, Shayla barely slept before her first day at Holt Designs. After 2 strong coffees, she rushed to work, her bloodshot eyes hidden behind makeup. Heather, a cheerful assistant, showed her the sleek office, high-tech cubicles, massive monitors, and design tablets that made Shayla's heart race. "Mr. Holt's particular," Heather warned. "Black coffee with skimmed milk by 7:45, sesame bagel with salmon at 8 o'clock. Avoid him when he's grumpy." Shayla nodded, trying to focus despite her hangover. When Heather led her to meet the CEO, her world tilted. Behind the desk stood Cole, Tristan Cole Holt, her husband. "You?" she whispered, stunned. "Looks that way," he said, adjusting his cufflinks with a calm she envied. His father, Tony, had conducted her interview while Cole was in Paris. Heather, sensing the tension, slipped out, leaving them alone. "This is a nightmare," Shayla muttered, pacing his office. "I quit." She stormed toward the door, but Cole caught her arm gently. "We can handle this, Shayla. No one knows we're married." His green eyes were steady, and despite her fury, she stayed. At home, Joe and Amy were speechless when she told them about Vegas. "You married Tristan Cole Holt?" Amy squealed, pulling up a Forbes article with his face. "He's a billionaire architect." Shayla groaned, realizing she'd missed every clue about his identity. "I'm not rich," she snapped as Amy teased. "You're Mrs. Holt now." Determined to focus on her career, Shayla pushed the chaos aside, but Cole's charm, and their banter, kept pulling her in. When her car tires were stolen, he offered to replace them, and they drove to the lawyer's office to sign annulment papers. But Cole hesitated, proposing a wild plan. Stay married to block his father's push for an engagement to Holly, a family friend. "My grandfather's dying," he explained. "He wants me married, or my cousin gets the company shares." Shayla was furious. "You can't buy me, Cole!" She stormed out, his words echoing. "You saw me, not my money. I trust you." At the lawyer's office, Tony Holt walked in, catching them arguing. Panicking, Cole introduced Shayla as his wife. "We didn't want anyone to know," he lied, claiming she earned the job on merit. Tony, skeptical, demanded they attend a family dinner that night. Shayla was livid but trapped. In the car, Cole apologized, his vulnerability disarming her. "I've never asked for help," he said. "You're real, Shayla." Against her better judgment, she agreed to play along, just to help him avoid Holly. "No PDA," she warned, jabbing his ribs when he teased about their Vegas kiss. Their banter lightened the tension, but Shayla felt the weight of the lie. Could she pull this off without losing herself? Back at the office, whispers followed them. Heather handed Cole a tablet, and Shayla's heart stopped. A gossip site blared. "Billionaire Tristan Holt elopes in Vegas." Photos showed Cole carrying her, kissing her, outside the chapel. Over 3 million views. "Everyone knows," she whispered, dropping the tablet. Her family, her fragile mother, her volatile brother, would be devastated. Cole tried to calm her, but the damage was done. "We'll face them together," he promised, pulling her close. His heartbeat steadied her, and for a moment, she believed they could navigate this mess. But dinner with his family loomed, and Tony's sharp gaze would see through any cracks in their story. At the Holt family estate, Shayla's nerves frayed. Tony greeted them with a probing stare, his wife, Eleanor, offering a warm but curious smile. Holly, the woman Cole was meant to marry, sat across the table, her polished beauty and sharp wit intimidating. "So, Shayla," Tony began, cutting into his steak, "how did you and Tristan meet?" Shayla froze, but Cole squeezed her hand under the table. "At a club," he said smoothly. "It was instant. She's not like anyone I've met." Shayla forced a smile, her mind racing. Holly's eyes narrowed, sensing the lie. As dinner progressed, Tony pressed for details, and Shayla stumbled, mentioning the breakfast bar. Cole jumped in, spinning a tale of their romantic night, but Holly's smirk grew. "Vegas must have been quite the spur-of-the-moment decision," she said, her tone icy. Shayla's cheeks burned, but she held her ground. "Sometimes you just know," she said, meeting Holly's gaze. Cole's hand rested on her knee, a silent thank you. Later, in the garden, Cole pulled her aside. "You were amazing in there," he said, his green eyes soft. "I know this is a lot, but we're in this together." Shayla sighed, the weight of the day crashing down. "My family can't handle this, Cole. My brother, he'll lose it." He nodded, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "We'll tell them the truth, but not yet. Let's get through this first." His touch was gentle, and despite everything, she felt a flicker of trust. Back at the flat, Joe and Amy pounced. "You're famous," Amy teased, showing her the gossip article. Shayla groaned, but their laughter reminded her she wasn't alone. She'd face her family, the office whispers, and Holly's scrutiny, but she'd do it her way, headstrong as ever. The next day, Cole called a meeting to address the rumors. Standing before the staff, he held Shayla's hand. "Yes, we're married," he said, his voice steady. "But Shayla earned her place here. She's brilliant, and I trust her." The room was silent, then Heather clapped, sparking applause. Shayla's chest tightened with gratitude. She wasn't just his accidental wife, she was part of something bigger. That night, alone in her room, she sketched a building design, her dream reignited. Cole's faith in her, however complicated, reminded her of her own strength. She'd keep fighting, not just for her family, but for herself. Leap Inspire family. Shayla's story is proof that even the wildest mistakes can lead to new beginnings. Want to see how she faces her family and fights for her dreams? Episode 2 is already up on our membership. Join now to keep the journey going. Your support fuels these stories. Let's leap higher together.